Fam, good morning. What is going on? Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Can I get a roll tide? What's going on, fam? I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for joining me. It is October. Wake up, wake up. It's the first of the month. You know what that song that's from, right? I appreciate you guys being here on Bama Football on YouTube. Today on the show, avoiding the rat poison and explaining what rat poison is, right? Trivia before we get started. Do you know when rat poison was coined? You know who coined it, right? All right, we're going to get a first look while we're talking about rat poison on my 12-team college football playoff bracket. There's no one like Hollywood. Yesterday I posted a YouTube short and I said, look, who is he comparable to? Look, nobody, okay? What this guy is doing, it's different. It's about to be changed from Tuscaloosa to Hollywood, Alabama. Honoring the offensive line. Yo, the more I look at this football game against Georgia and the more that I look at these last two games, I think we definitely need to give props to this Alabama offensive line. Allowing no sacks against Georgia, hats off to the big boys who don't get the notoriety that they deserve. Going to talk about the freshman report, right? The next wave. Right, that's the podcast of Ryan, Jalen Milroe. Yo, these guys are like taking over the entire world. All right, and we'll do first look at Vanderbilt, who is 2-2 on the season. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. You know, I was thinking about this, and I don't know if I'll do it this week, but, you know, my Monday show, because it's on Monday and I have it at 10 a.m., you know, I think it might be a better time for people you know, to get checked in. I think people might be still getting to work at 9, so I'm playing with that. I might, if I do it, it would be maybe at the end of the week, but I might move it to 10 a.m. and just keep it at 10 for the rest of the season. So I'll keep you posted before I do anything different. But for right now, on at 9 a.m., you know, Tuesdays through Fridays, and then, of course, during the game. Sundays, I kind of play it by ear, kind of how I'm feeling energy-wise. Saturday, I'm telling you, it takes a lot of energy to be able to go live and be able to talk for 6 consecutive hours, right? Got to be on my A game. It does take a lot of energy. So I kind of feel it on Sunday, kind of how I'm feeling. But I appreciate you guys being here. Good morning to you. You know, as we always start at the day, we always practice gratitude. Today, you know, at the workout, we talked about, you know, addition by subtraction and, you know, kind of bettering yourself and what type of steps do you want to take. And I think it kind of, you know, it goes into this rat poison deal because you beat Georgia, right? But that wasn't it. What did you gain from beating Georgia? Did you win a national championship? Did you win the SEC championship? You didn't do any of that, okay? Yesterday, I saw this. I'm sure you saw this. I'm sure you follow Charlie Potter of Bama online, right? Oh, the new wave. Okay, thank you, B. Wood. I appreciate that. The new wave. And I'm sure you follow Charlie Potter. Yesterday, he tweeted that there was some literal rat traps at the practice facility. I was like, perfect timing, right? Because, you know, when you look at rat poison, and by the way, when was it installed? Like, when was that coined? Does anybody remember? When was it coined? When you look at this team, this is the perfect time to start eating rat poison. So avoid it at all costs, okay? You're now ranked number 1 in the country. You just beat Georgia, right? You're better than Texas. You have the best players in the country. Jalen Milroe is now the favorite to win the Heisman Trophy. Got the best wide receiver, right? You're going to get all the recruits. You start buying into all that, and it starts seeping into your mind. That's the rat poison. Then you go out and you play a team that will punch you in the mouth, whether that's, you know, whatever the team's on the schedule. The game's not over. Job's not finished. You didn't win anything from beating Georgia other than, you know, beating a quality team, being battle tested. You didn't make the playoffs yesterday. I think it's an insurance win down the road. Job's not done. Job is not done. In fact, you need a better performance this week coming off that game. You can't play emotionally low going into Vanderbilt. I think we all see Vanderbilt as fans You don't want this to seep into the mindset of the players, and that's what the coaches had to be careful of. So let's look at what rat poison is, okay? And before we do that, we got a couple slides to go through. All right, the Alabama injury report. There was no injury report provided yesterday by Coach Kalen DeBoer. I think he let me take these off. My bad. I think, we were just kind of rolling in the press conference, and the reporters didn't really hit on the injury reports. I think Kendrick Law is probably the only guy that is, maybe has a injury of some sort of significance. I think everybody else is good to go. When we do get an update on Kendrick Law, I promise we'll bring that to you. But I would imagine, I think he's the only guy we're kind of looking at this point in time. He's had, such a strange season so far. Only 2 receptions. They tried to throw the ball to him on that gadget type play that we didn't like. And, then he gets injured. So sometimes, the beginning of the season, things can go, you might not have the performance that you want, but let's just we'll keep you posted on Kendrick Law. And hopefully, like, the guy is so talented. I think by the end of this season, things will work out for him. But right now, it is what it is. And I think Devontae Smith, I think it was just cramps, to be honest. But I don't know that for sure. Just think it was cramps. All right, here's the North Alabama storm chase forecast for this weekend. We'll update this every single day. As you know, I added this last week when we were checking, that the storm. And by the way, if you were impacted by the storm, thoughts and prayers out to you. It looks like an absolutely beautiful weekend in Nash Vegas. All right, for the tailgate, and the game will be at 3:15 p.m. You got a temperature of 74. It feels like, look at this day. My goodness. All right, game time 76. By the way, they've been working on their stadium. They have like a live stadium cam that they show every single day. They've been making a lot of progress. And fourth quarter, it should be 67. So enjoy yourself. Have fun up in Nashville. Do your thing on Broadway responsibly. Don't be throwing chairs off the balconies. DW is asking what happened to Caleb Odom. Look, Caleb Odom, we'll be talking about the freshman at the back end of the show. He's a player who has played a good amount of playing time as a freshman. He has 5 receptions for 45 yards. He's seen snaps. And I think it kind of, depends on the game situation. So wasn't utilized against Georgia, but he has been utilized this year. Skylar Cook is asking for an update on Tim Keenan. I don't know what even the injury was to Tim Keenan, but I think he'll be good to go. Somebody said they saw him jumping around during one of the defensive plays, so I would imagine he's okay as well. And I think if one of the injuries was of major significance, we would probably hear about it by this point in time. The only one I'm kind of curious about is that Kendrick Law. I think the other guys will be good to go. All right, so what is rat poison? All right, so here you go. I was asking, when was it coined? So Coach Saban came up with this in 2017, all right? It's called rat poison, all right? So the media creates rat poison, all right? It's reading the internet. It's what someone thinks. It's someone's opinion about how good you are. The line of the game, right? And specifically, I went back and watched like all the Coach Saban. This is from Coach Saban. And it runs perfectly into this next game. Perfectly, all right? It's when a team loses 2 games. Who's lost 2 games? Vanderbilt, all right? Actually, let me see if I can show you Coach Saban. Give me 1 second. The call line is not open. Let me see if I could show you real quick. Coach Saban talking rat poison, because I was looking at it today, and I'll just let him explain it. All right, so let me see if I can get it up. All this stuff I do on the fly. Sometimes I don't even know how I add this stuff. And by the way, this is courtesy of the Crimson Tide Sports Network, okay? So what I'm about to show you is from a few years ago. I think this was in 2011. This is from the Crimson Tide Sports Network. So definitely follow them, specifically on Wednesday nights. That's when they have the Hey Coach show. So it's from Learfield, and this is courtesy of them. So I'm just going to show a short snippet from the Crimson Tide Sports Network of Coach Saban talking about rat poison back in 2011. 2021. He coined it in 2017. This is 2021.
Also, how do you keep the rat poison from the media on how do you get the team to tune it out? You know, for example, with Arkansas, we were supposed to blow them out, then you don't do it. And it's because you have created such a game atmosphere that we go to the games knowing we're going to win, but we just don't know by how much. And
well, you know, it's...
well, I tell you what, I'm glad you go to the game that way because I don't ever go to the game that way. I have too much respect for the other team. Been in too many games, whether we won when we weren't expected to win or, you know, the other team beat us. I think, you know, people don't really... Rat poison is rat poison, and the media is always going to create it. But the reality of the world is not what you read on the internet. It's not what somebody thinks. It's not what somebody's opinion is. It's not what the line is on the game. And it's certainly the biggest one is every time a team loses 2 games, everybody says that team's like done. And it's really just the opposite. Like Texas A&M lost 2 games before we played. I said it's a dangerous team. Because these guys have pride in performance. They want to have a good team. They've had 2 disappointing losses. That makes them dangerous. They're humiliated by what's happened the last 2 games. Same thing when we played LSU. Everybody says, oh, they lost 2 games in a row. They're not any good anymore. We're just going to blow them out. It's just the opposite. It's just the opposite of that. They're competitors. They have moms and dads. They have pride in performance. They have things that they want to accomplish and they want to do, and they want to be good. They don't just throw in the towel. They work harder to try to get better, and everybody wants to beat us. So we're going to get everybody's best game.
That's Coach Saban talking about rat poison. All right, who better to explain it other than the man that created it? Appreciate you guys being here. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. And I think it comes at a perfect time when. And I want to kind of lead up with the rat poison just because I saw, you know, the fact that they have, rat traps, literally, according to Charlie Potter at the practice facility. I mean, that's perfect timing. Like, they're number 1 now. I don't even have them number 1, right? I even got the 4 + 2 = 6 hat, right? I don't have the number 1, but if that seeps in, you're the number 1 team. You're the best wide receiver. I've said that. I think Ryan Williams is absolutely the best wide receiver. But when, now Jalen Milroe is the Heisman Trophy favorite too. You see what I'm saying? If you start to read all of that, that's the rat poison. So you have to block that out when you're playing a team that has lost 2 games, Vanderbilt, a team that you're supposed to blow out. Okay, and to add more rat poison, I think Alabama does blow out Vanderbilt. But you look at the rest of the schedule, games on the road at Tennessee, games on the road at LSU, games on the road at Oklahoma. I don't care. Like, games in the SEC are hard. It is hard to win again and again and again. The rat poison is bad. So, again, the media creates it. This will be on a test, by the way. All right, I'm going to give you guys a test. Media creates it. Reading the internet, what someone thinks, someone's opinion, the line of the game. When the team loses 2 games, everyone thinks that team is done. That's the rat poison. Now, the reverse rat poison, that's fun, right? Like, you had that going into the Georgia game. They were favored by 4.5 in the summertime, right? Georgia's supposed to beat you. They have Kirby Smart. They have better players than you. That stuff, Coach Saban isn't there anymore. Coach Kalen DeBoer has never coached an SEC game. That's reverse rat poison. That's the opposite. So stay away from the rat poison, right? The players, the coaches rarely eat rat poison. It's the players, right? They're young players. But I don't know. This team is like a buzzsaw, so don't eat rat poison. You know what? Don't eat rat poison in your life. Mattress Matt, what's up, man? I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Do you think my 38-17 prediction when Bama was whooping that tail? Man, I think I had it 31-17. I didn't expect Georgia to come back like they did. Credit to that coaching staff and the players for not quitting. They should have quit. You would have thought they would have quit, but I would imagine that we see Georgia again at some point in time. And in life, don't eat the rat poison as well, right? Like, surround yourself with positive people, right? You had a good week at your job. You had a good month at your job. Continue to grind. The consistency in performance, right? Keep striving for greatness. Do better in your life. I get it. It's hard. Like, I am definitely not perfect, but I am trying my very best to practice consistency and start from there. Here's a look. Here's some more rat poison. This is my college football playoff bracket. As of right now, this is something that I'll add to the show each Tuesday. All right. So now, look, there's 12 teams, and let me break it down for you real quick. So the top conferences get an automatic bye into the quarterfinals. So let's just start with number 1. I have Texas winning the SEC at this point in time, right? Target on someone else's back. Give it to Texas. Have them eat the rat poison. Number 2, I have Ohio State. Number 3, I have Miami. Number 4, I don't know. Let me ask you, undefeated. I didn't know this. This is kind of hard for me. I thought about just putting the Big 12 champ there, but then I had to fill out the rest of the bracket. So, like, help me out here. Who do you think wins the Big 12 championship game? Kansas State, BYU, Colorado? I wouldn't imagine it is Colorado. Kansas State seems like at this point in time maybe the most realistic team. I don't know. I think there's a lot of parity in that conference. Who do you think wins the Big 12? Mattress Matt, I appreciate the super chat again, man. And then from there, we'll start it up at the top. Jarvis has Colorado. Can you imagine? Oh, my goodness. This would be the dream scenario if Colorado does win. I would be hoping for this. If Colorado wins and you get an Alabama and Colorado matchup at that 5-4, that's my dream scenario, okay? This entire bracket, I feel really good about this bracket at this point in time. I really do. I started looking at it, and I was like, damn, I feel pretty good about this. All right, so look, I would imagine that Boise State comes out on top of the Mountain West. It's either them or UNLV right now. And I have Bama at the 5 spot, basically being the number 2 team in the SEC. If Texas was to win the SEC title, again, put the target on someone else's back, have them eat the rat poison. So in that first round game, which would be December 20th or December 21st, that game would be in Tuscaloosa. Let's say Alabama hosts Boise State. Boise played Oregon pretty close. That's why I kind of put them at the 12 spot over UNLV. Plus, UNLV doesn't have their quarterback or their running back anymore. They're still winning games. I just feel that Boise State might be the team that comes out on top. I kind of would like to see Colorado in the playoffs too, just for kind of the entertainment of it, right? Just it's entertaining, and then I would like to see maybe Bama beat the brakes off them. Which I think they absolutely would, but it would be fun to have those press conferences or whatever on the channel. All right, at the number 8, number 9 spot, I have Oregon taking on Penn State. I think that'd be a hell of a matchup right now. If those two teams were to play right now, I have no idea which team is better. The game would be in Oregon. That's a conference game. Again, I think that's an interesting game. Winner plays Texas. And winner of Bama and Boise would play Kansas State. And that game would be in Manhattan, and that next game would be in Austin, right? And then you have, I have Missouri. I don't know if I put Missouri in there. I don't know if they're going to be one of the top 12 teams. I theoretically, I guess I could have put Ole Miss there. But I have, so let's just put Missouri / Ole Miss taking on Georgia. And see, you like this scenario because I'm going to tell you, this is, with Alabama and Georgia on the opposite side of the bracket, there's your scenario for them playing at least twice, right? Is it University of Missouri? Missouri. It's probably University of Missouri. I'll fix that in the post. My bad. But it's Missouri. And like I said, you could put Missouri or Ole Miss on there. And then I have Georgia, and then I have Tennessee and USC, which I think would also be an amazing game. So I don't know. Like that's how I have it at this point in time. Again, I'll continue to update this every Tuesday. But I like this scenario in terms of where Alabama and Georgia are. Now, remember, Georgia plays. This bracket is so premature because of the teams that still have to play. Like Georgia plays on the road at Texas, on the road at Ole Miss. I mean, a lot of these teams, we are. A lot of these teams just play one SEC game. But it is fun to look at the 12-team playoff. I promise you, it's going to be so exciting to think about that. And there's going to be some major mismatches in that first round, like Bama, Boise. All right. I was talking about this earlier. It's like I put up a short video yesterday, and I was talking about Ryan Williams. And I said, like, let me ask you this. What's up, Deer Hunter? I see you inside the comment box. Is there anybody that he is comparable to? I don't think there's one particular wide receiver that he's comparable to. Rather, I think if you were to make comparisons, it's kind of like a blend of different wide receivers to make up Ryan Williams, right? I don't think there's really anyone that you can compare him to. Like he's like a blend of like 3 or 4 different type of wide receivers. I could see some JMO in there. I could see some St. Brown from Detroit. I could see Jerry Jeudy. I could see Devontae Smith, right? I could see a little David Palmer. It's kind of like this ultra blend. JMO, Waddle. Yeah, but I don't think there's like anybody like him. And I love the fact that his personality makes it so great as well. So far during my time covering Alabama, and you guys have followed Alabama for much longer, but nobody loved a player more than like Tua. People loved Tua Tagovailoa when he was here. And when he was injured, I remember them literally rolling in the mail carts of just, get well letters for this dude. I'm already seeing it with Ryan Williams. Like, this guy has taken the world by storm. And maybe it's kind of the rapid, that we have social media and Ryan Williams is like right on your phone right away. But yeah, I'm kind of with you, B Wood. I just don't think there's like a really true comparison. He's like out of this world good. And I think the fans and I think everybody else, damn, Case. That's a way to start out Tuesday in October. Okay, can't wait to flex on my future kid. I was at that game. My voice is still recovering. Yo, Case in here with the hundo spot. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Man, good for you. Yeah, I mean, I think we're all still reeling from that game and that performance. Oh, by the way, October is Cancer Awareness Month, right? So there's a pink ribbon. That's an emoji that fan funders can use. We have a fan that I always talk about, Jenny, who's battling cancer. She's in stage 4. She's going to as many Alabama games as you can. If you could just hit the pink ribbon. If you're not a fan funder, you can just hit an emoji that is a pink ribbon. Show support. She does watch the show. I don't think she's on right now, but maybe she'll watch in the rewatch. So let's continue to support those. Her and everybody else that is battling cancer, that people that have battled cancer. I have a friend. His wife is battling cancer. I think about it often. I know they're battling, and thoughts and prayers to everybody that is battling. Keep battling, keep fighting. And thank you, Case. I appreciate you so much, man. That is amazing. So I've talked about this before. Like, his stats are crazy. They're even getting like wilder as we go forward. I've said this many times openly. I wasn't sure if he'd catch for 500 yards. He might catch for 1,500 yards. I don't know. Like, what he's doing right now is absolutely crazy. I love it all. I love, the eye black, the everything that he brings. Like, he's just an expressive type person that I love. Like, this guy is a monster. The thing I saw yesterday, and I think this is real, on his Sarah Land yearbook picture, you know how you write, like, your quotes? Like, your senior quote, like, this is the best times of my life, whatever. He has, I'm not even a real senior. Have you seen this? All right, so what I wanted to do, because I know Jeremiah Smith is another wide receiver that everybody's talking about from Ohio State, who's a very talented freshman wide receiver as well. And you'll see these are Pro Football Focus graphics. I'm going to compare them side by side. Okay, so this is Ryan Williams. Let me walk you through it. This is Pro Football Focus. So against Western Kentucky, this is crazy. He was targeted 2 times. He recorded 2 receptions for 139 yards and had a grade of 87.4. Against South Florida, targeted 6 times and recorded 4 for 68. Against Wisconsin, targeted 4 times, 4 receptions, grade of 69.1, had 78 yards. Against Georgia, and 9.5 million people watched that game. He was targeted 7 times, came up with 6 receptions, including a bobbling catch. That catch blew me away as well, for 177 yards and a game-winning touchdown. The most impressive stat that you could see there at the bottom of the screen, he's been targeted 19 times, and he's came up with 16 receptions. That's a receiving percentage of 84.2%. He has 462 yards and 5 touchdowns, all right? So, Max, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, so let's look now at Jeremiah Smith, who is very talented. He's a bigger type wide receiver, 6'3", 215 pounds. And when we zoom into the numbers, you see that he has 19 receptions on the year for 364 yards and 5 touchdowns. Now, you do look at the competition that he has played, right? Akron, Western Michigan, Marshall, Michigan State. They're like the comparison and the argument that I make is that game right here at the bottom. And really Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin is probably a tougher team than, Marshall or Michigan State, right? And this guy, what he was able to do against the best defense, arguably in the country, right? Georgia, to light him up for 177, including the game winner. Like, we all saw it. And I know, we rep Ryan Williams wearing the hat of him. Like, he is that guy. And Jeremiah Smith is very talented. I'm sure he'll be a freshman All-American as well. This guy has it. That'd be crazy, Max. He'd be 17 at the Heisman ceremony. I haven't seen him starting to trickle in the Heisman voting. I mean, right now, like Jalen Milroe, as we talked about yesterday, is like, he's the favorite at plus 175 or whatever. Hey, Ronnie, I appreciate the pink heart. Appreciate the continued support here on Bama Football on YouTube. But, yeah, I mean, I stand by it. And I think we'll only see it more Ryan Williams. I mean, he's wide receiver number 1. I think he's the best wide receiver in the entire country. I already said my piece on that. I want to give some props to the Alabama offensive line. These guys did not allow a sack against Georgia, okay? And you look at how they played against Wisconsin, and you look at how they played against Georgia. Now, the common denominator is the fact that they have big Kadyn Procker up at the top right here, the left tackle position. He's dominating. And Parker Brailsford, if you rewatch your games, watch Parker Brailsford at the center position. He's doing an amazing job. So right here, you see Alabama has a clean pocket. One thing that I did notice, too, and I've been rewatching a little bit of the Georgia game. I do my rewatches kind of in spurts. One thing that I've noticed is Jalen Milroe has been getting out the football fast, much faster than we've seen him in the past. Like, I couldn't even, like, these are, I can't show the full plays, it's copyright, but I can show some screenshots and I can explain, like, what is happening. And when you do your rewatch, watch how fast he's getting out the football. In this game against Georgia, and even Coach Kalen DeBoer, I think, hit on this yesterday, was the fact that pass to Jam Miller, he didn't even think twice about it. Like, he stepped back, saw it, that was it, right? Put it right in the money. So he's getting the ball out much fast. Like, that game, Bama Pete, what's up, man? I appreciate it. I've spoken about this hat many times. You can get it at Athlete's Thread. That's where I got it. I'll put the link in the video, see if you guys can find it. I know some people have been having trouble finding it. It might be sold out or whatever. The only negative that I have on it, and I even sent this back to Alabama, is I said it's really like it's that vibrant of red. It's not a crimson hat. And I think there's a gray one as well, but it's like super red, like true to that. But it is a dope hat. And I have an extra one. I might be giving it away here in a little bit. Not on this show. I'll tell you guys when. But yeah, check it out. If you can't find it, I'll try to find it. So Kevin kind of hitting on this. Kyle, I saw a breakdown of his game, and one of the things that was mentioned was how fast Jalen got the ball out. Yeah, I'm telling you, this is the fastest that he's got the football out. So combined with the clean pocket, he's getting the football out, which he continues to impress. But look at this when you kind of zoom in. Granted, this isn't a play where Georgia's setting a lot of pressure. The point is they have done a great job in pass protection in the last two games, and Jalen Milroe is getting the football out fast to his wide receivers, to his running backs. I think this might be a touchdown pass on the right side. I don't know what frame this was from. I just wanted to kind of demonstrate from a pocket standpoint, that's what you're seeing when you look at Jalen Milroe and what he's getting from his offensive line. As you can see, Elijah Pritchett right here doing a good job. Jaden Roberts, Parker Brailsford, Booker, and then you see Kadyn Procker. This is the pocket on the big touchdown to Ryan Williams, right? The 75-yard touchdown. Check this out. I mean, and this happened very fast. And I'm sure you guys saw on the clock, it was 2:26, right? Like second at 26 when he caught that, which is just mind-bending. Like, how does that even happen, right? Kevin, I appreciate you, man. Yeah, only 43 thumbs up. Yeah, let's get those up. I appreciate you guys. But look, I mean, he stands back. He knew who he was going to. Threw it to Ryan Williams, playmaker, the clean pocket. And you saw this a bunch of different times. So, credit. And I think Georgia felt that they could make plays on Alabama. Maybe that's why they didn't send that much pressure. I think they should have sent more pressure, to be honest. I still want to see, like, South Florida, I think so far is the only time that they, Alabama's really faced, like, an intense pass rush. C-Dub asks, hey, Kyle, how do you feel about Jam eating that block? Yeah, that was amazing, man. The helmet flew off, right? So Jam came in, and they hit each other. It was an RPO. So Jalen, fakes the handoff to him, keeps it, and takes off the side. Jam comes in, and the guy's helmet flew completely off. Man, yeah, so this right here was amazing. Love to see it. I just want to honor the offensive line. We don't talk about the offensive line enough. These guys are clearly a part of the buzzsaw. And the way that they played in the beginning of that game, really throughout the entire game, was amazing. But, 0 sacks against Georgia. Damn, like that, crazy. All right, here's the freshman report. That is Xavier Brown. To the right of him, I cropped out Damani Jackson. No offense, I just wanted to get some freshmen. This was a really good photo. As you know, Xavier Brown, Amani Jackson, and Jahad Campbell each had interceptions against the Georgia Bulldogs on Carson Beck. But the freshman report looks like this. And there's many different freshmen that have played this year. I think over 20, right? Freshmen don't play at Alabama. Well, yeah, they do. They actually win games for Alabama. Ryan Williams, 462 yards and 5 touchdowns. Xavier Brown, 210 snaps at cornerback, coming up with the game-winning interception against Georgia, against one of the top quarterbacks in the 2025. And think about this. Think about the way you're going to have to sleep on. Like, Georgia's like, okay, Coach Saban left. Kalen DeBoer comes in. I think we have it, blah, blah, blah. And then you see that he got toasted by 2 freshmen. These guys can't leave for another 3 seasons. This season, next season, season after. And they're freshmen. Jalen Mbakwe, he's played in 73 snaps at corner. Red Morgan, that should be 100 snaps at Husky. He's played in 100, not 10. Red Morgan's played a lot, so that's 100 snaps. And then Caleb Odom, someone asked about him earlier in the show. He has 5 receptions for 45 yards. I don't think he played against Georgia, but he has played the season, and he's I think out of the freshman wide receivers, he's number 2. in terms of receptions behind Ryan Williams. Very talented, man. I mean, you look at the future of Alabama's wide receiving unit, man, Ryan Williams, Caleb Odom, Rico Scott. Rico Scott's really good. Amari Jefferson, Caleb Cunningham, Latsier Brooks. And when you look to the Alabama wide receiver room, all those guys could come back. Yeah, Yoda, and make sure you guys notate that Red Morgan has played in 100 snaps, not 10. And Dean's like, no more penalties. He had 10 for 9. It was too much. All right, here's a look at Alabama versus Vanderbilt. Just kind of a teaser as we start to look at Alabama heading to Nash Vegas to take on the 2-2 Commodores. Start with the Crimson Tide on the left, favored by 24 in this game. Jalen Milroe, 964 yards passing with 10 touchdowns. Milroe also has 273. So does Jam. Jam has 273 yards as well, rushing. Milroe has 8 touchdowns, 18 total touchdowns on the season, 1,237 all-purpose yards. Ryan Williams, 462 yards, 5 touchdowns, and then Jahad Campbell leads the team with 32 tackles. For the Commodores, it's Diego Pavia. Yo, I'm going to talk about Diego Pavia a lot because, he is from, so as you know, I'm from New Mexico, okay, from Santa Fe. And I went to school in Pella, Iowa. Then I finished out at New Mexico State. Also did some schooling in Washington, D.C. So I've lived all over. Also lived in Los Angeles for a while. Now I live in Tuscaloosa, so where I pay taxes. Lived here for 8 years. But Diego Pavia was not recruited by the New Mexico Lobos, who are in Albuquerque. But he was recruited by New Mexico State, which is in Las Cruces. The guy goes down there and leads the Aggies to one of the best seasons that they ever had under Jerry Kill. In fact, last season, they played the Auburn Tigers at Jordan-Hare. Diego Pavia picked up one of the DBs and slammed him into the ground. The dude is a bad man. In fact, Coach Kane Womack said yesterday that Diego Pavia is a baller. He really is. Like, he's ultra talented. As you can see, he has 721 yards passing and 279 yards rushing with 8 touchdowns. They don't have a lot of, and Jerry Kill's at Vandy too. Jerry Kill's a damn good coach. There was a suplex. You guys remember that, right? Yo, Diego Pavia is a baller. This is week 6. So this is a team that, I'll be honest, I think Alabama absolutely handles these guys. They don't have a lot of guys that can stretch the field. I think it's a complete mismatch. Whatever, it's a rat poison type game. Still got to go out and execute and stop this guy. And I guarantee you, this is a competitor. He's a baller. Coach Womack said it yesterday. Okay, so this team is 9 points away from being 4-0 on the season. They beat Virginia Tech, right, 34-27, which is interesting because Virginia Tech, they should have beat Miami, right? Miami, I have them number 3 in my playoff predictions. They beat Alcorn State 55-0, and they're coming off 2 losses. Well, what did we lead the show off talking about? A team that has lost 2 games is a dangerous team to play because it fits into the rat poison model, right? When a team's lost 2 games, people are like, man, it's this team sucks. I don't think this team sucks. Missouri is in a lot of people's playoff predictions, right? And they should have taken that game into another overtime against Missouri. Vanderbilt, I watched that game. Vanderbilt ran onto the field, to kick a field goal to make it 30-30, and they missed the field goal. I think the game was even in Columbia. So, dangerous team? Probably not. But a team that is playing and punching above their belt? Absolutely. A team that fits into the rat poison model? It perfectly. Right? So I think, but again, when I look to Alabama, I would probably take that 24 points. I mean, I've never been to a college football atmosphere, an away game. I remember the first time that I went to Nashville to go watch Alabama versus Vanderbilt. It's amazing. There's like no Vanderbilt fans. The entire stadium, I've never seen this before. I think Coach Saban even said this. It's the only place in the SEC where it's not that challenging to play just because it is like a home game. It's the weirdest thing. I have photos of it. It's all Alabama fans, the entire place. Sean saying Vandy will cover the 24. What's up, Sean? I see you inside the comment box, man. Good morning to Chris as well, man. Thanks for being here. You know, I think Shiesty is talking about some flips. I think there could be some flips here coming up. I mean, who wouldn't want to come to Alabama after, watching what Coach Kalen DeBoer has done here in such a short time? Man, I really, you're starting to see a lot of guys shutting down their recruitment. I just really wish people would have waited on Alabama before they committed elsewhere. Because once you really see what Coach Kalen DeBoer has done and what he's going to do, like, they're going to run out of spots eventually. Courtney Morgan said, like, if they want you, they'll get you here, but there's only so many spots. Man, jump on now. Like, if you're out there, if you're wondering, like, jump on now. Hey, Javion, what's up, man? I see you. Appreciate you, man. Thank you very much for being here. Same to you, Sarah. Thank you so much. Here's a look at Alabama's next 5 games, right? And look, this is where it starts to heat up. You had the Georgia game. This will be your second SEC game now on the road. The first for Coach Kalen DeBoer on the road. Everything is a first for him, right? That's what he keeps saying, which is true. At Vanderbilt. And then we're all looking to this one against Tennessee, but don't overlook South Carolina. That game's at 11 a.m., right? That's next weekend. And then, I mean, look at these games. 2 teams in the top 10, or if you want to look at it this way, 3 consecutive teams back-to-back-to-back within the top 20 or the top 15. You do have another open week on November 2nd to prepare for LSU, kind of heal up. Now, I think one of the most important factors going into this game against Vanderbilt is to stay healthy. Look, I'm going to throw some more rat poison on it. I think Alabama probably wins this game whatever they want. This would probably be like 56-3 or something like that. I do my score predictions on Friday. That's just kind of how I'm feeling. I think Alabama won't lay off. I don't think Vanderbilt has the athletes to stretch the field on Alabama. I think it'll kind of be your typical Alabama versus Vanderbilt game. With that being said, you do have to stay healthy. Alabama's had guys throughout the season be nicked and banged up, and Jeff Allen's been able to get those guys back to speed quicker. But going into the gauntlet part of the season, man, stay hungry, stay healthy, right, Jarvis? And stay healthy. Like, you have to stay healthy and find a way to utilize different players to be able to take some of that workload. I would imagine we see much more of Jam Miller, Justice Haynes, instead of design runs for Jalen Milroe over these next couple of weeks, because you have to keep Jalen Milroe completely upright, healthy, safe. With that said, man, that guy doesn't get a lot of wear and tear just because of his body type. That guy, man, 235 pounds. Oh, he's grown. Tennessee, I still don't know how I feel about Tennessee, but I would imagine that game is just, man, that would be College game day again, I would imagine. If Tennessee stays unbeaten up to that point in time and Alabama is unbeaten, man, you got to think Coach Saban would be up at game day on Rocky Top, right? And going up to a game there, going up to Neyland Stadium, if you've never been there, it is a cool atmosphere. The only problem is, and I ate at some good restaurants. Knoxville has a really cool downtown area. I was surprised how big Knoxville is. It seems much bigger than Tuscaloosa. And then you have like kind of the Vol Navy. The only problem that I have is the Rocky Top song. They play that song. I swear, I must have heard it 100 times. It's like that's the only song that they play again, and it like kind of gets into your mind. And the band coming in and how the players come in, it is cool. So like they do have the another ultimate college football pageantry with like Alabama, Tennessee, Auburn. You do get that. I've never been to a game at Georgia. I know they go there next year. Bama Pete, you're right, man. Parker Brailsford playing absolutely amazing. In Missouri, I don't know. I don't know how I feel. Like Tennessee, I think they're, I'll be curious to see how they play Bama. Missouri, I don't know how I feel about them. I know LSU will be tough as well. I don't think Vandy will score 10 points against Alabama. We talked about the top 25. We looked at my top 10 yesterday. Here's a look at the SEC. Just kind of bring it up one more time. You have Texas A&M up at the top just because they played in 2 conference games and they've won each of those conference games, and then it's sorted alphabetically. Texas A&M still 4-1. I mean, I don't know how I feel about them overall, but I think what this demonstrates is kind of the top to bottom with the SEC is just so. I mean, it's incredible. Where would like Miami be in here? Right? Where would some of like the Big 12 leaders be in here, or the Big 10? I don't know. Where would Oregon be in here? I don't know. I mean, I would imagine a bunch of teams getting to the playoffs, from the SEC. Talked about this as well. The Heisman watch. Kind of some more rat poison for you. Jalen Milroe, Cam Ward, Travis Hunter. I mean, it is, these guys are absolutely all ballers. Say what you want. Look, I don't know. Like, Miami looks pretty good. This is probably the better Miami team than we've seen in a while. Is Miami this year's Florida State team to where they go undefeated and then kind of trail off at the end? Another good quarterback. Is it similar to what we saw from Florida State last year? By the way, Florida State lost again. They got drubbed by SMU. But Cam Ward is posting up some amazing numbers. The fourth quarter that he played was outstanding. And Travis Hunter, he is that guy. But Jalen Milroe, now the favorite. Whoever got on plus 1,400, good for you. You're cleaning up. I just wish that they did the Heisman Trophy at the end of the season. They do it right before, like, the best part of football. They need to do it at the end of the season. How are you going to give it the award when you haven't seen the players play, like, in the semifinals or the title game? Right? William, and I feel for the players that transferred to Florida State. I think they were sold something that was fake. I've been talking about Florida State that I didn't buy into it. I knew what was going to happen, but man, like, because Roydell Williams quality, man. Terrence Ferguson, I know he's over there. Malik Benson, it looks like he's been utilized. I honestly think that Roydell Williams and Malik Benson are the best players on Florida State's team. At least it seems like it. Man, and if you're a freshman out there, a sophomore who's not quite seen the playing time that you think, man, just stay patient, because we've seen it so many times. Like, all the resources that Alabama has, just wait your time. And you go off and go somewhere else, man. Bama is so rare. Once you get plugged in, if you can just be here and just continue to, iron sharpens iron and be patient, it's just hard, man, because you got NIL, you got so many things kind of driving you away with that, right? AJ, yeah, I feel he feels Roydell too, man. Yeah, out of Hueytown. Dude's I love that guy. Biggest personality too. Hey, Bama Pete, man, thanks for becoming a fan funder. We appreciate you. And Case once again with the 100 spot, man. Thank you so much. Bama Mike in here with the super chat as well. Thank you so much. When I look at Coach Kalen DeBoer, and I think the biggest soundbite yesterday that stood out to me was him talking about the fire in his belly, right? Anybody that has played competitive sports, gets fired up, in my opinion. But him fighting for his team, like, it's just not to get, like, excited that this guy has, like, this fire in him. But how could you not want to play for a coach like that, right? Jeremy Bernard was getting strangled, and Kalen DeBoer was losing it. I still can't believe that wasn't called pass interference. But him kind of explaining that he was fighting for his team and the way that he worded it. And look what he's doing. He's 5-1 against teams that are ranked in the top 10. That is an ultra impressive stat. Man, what a time to be an Alabama fan, okay? Your football team is number one, and your basketball team, as we get closer to basketball season, they're the preseason number one. And this basketball team, from what I understand, should be better than last year's team, which is just like, that is crazy. Nate Oates took that team as far as that team could go. I don't think they would have beat UConn or Purdue. I really don't in the title, for the title. But, man, they got as far as they could go. You're number one in both sports. It's just, that is amazing to me. Chad, oh, yeah, there was pass interference. The crazy thing was they were called for 3 pass interference on the offensive side of the ball, right? How do you guys feel about Nick Sheridan so far as the OC? I think the gadget plays, as we talked about yesterday, and now hearing him kind of explain why he called the gadget plays, I think that was probably a learning experience for him. But I have to say that I do like him more in this short sample size than I did Tommy Rees or Bill O'Brien. I think he's young. I think he's still learning. Hey, Brandon, what's up, man? Appreciate you becoming a fan funder. That's what's up. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Real respect, real man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, it's early. On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel about Nick Sheridan? 10 being like you're like over the world. 2, he's trash, which there should be no 2s. I don't even know there should be 5s. But what do you think for the OC? And think about it, man. I don't know if this guy knew that he was going to be the OC. He was the tight ends coach at Washington last year. Maybe he did know. Maybe they did know that Grubb. Remember how upset we were about Grubb? Man, remember? God, that felt like 5-10 years ago. Damn, these are some high marks. 8 to 10, 9, 8, 7. Yeah, see, I would imagine the marks, they're higher than I thought. I probably have them like 7.5, which I think is a huge upgrade. Because when I think back to like Tommy, I thought the state, even though he's a younger guy too, he just seemed way overwhelmed. And I don't think he could develop quarterbacks. I think a lot of pressure was on him to work with the quarterbacks, where I think in this system, Nick Sheridan can work with the offense, but also he can work with the quarterbacks along with Coach Kalen DeBoer working with the quarterbacks. Because Alabama, in my opinion, has been missing somebody to really been like working with the quarterbacks since Steve Sarkisian, A.J. Milwee, and Alex Mortensen. Since those guys left, I think the quarterback room from a coaching standpoint took steps back. And I don't think those guys were doing the quarterback room service. Cody asks, Kyle, do you think that was a top 10 play, Jalen Milroe? Yeah, I think that was one of the better college football plays I've ever seen. I mean, I have a video kind of breaking it down. The one from Josh Pate is also hilarious. Like the thing that trips me out about that particular play was how he had the presence of mind to stop. And like, then I don't understand how he turns. I still don't understand that. Like how he kind of like spun back to look at Milroe and then took off, stiff arm, took his mouthpiece out, pointed out his eye black, and then hit the dirty bird. That dude is clever. I love it. You see what I'm saying about the quarterback room? I think it like took steps back. So I think it was a learning experience. I think we have a right to express that there was no need for the gadget plays. And look, you don't need gadget plays with this type of offense. Gadget plays are for like 3A high school football teams that need a big play for homecoming. This team doesn't need gadget plays. I would assume like they need a gadget play, use like 2 a year. The no-look snap was dope though. I like, that was my favorite one. The triple reverse pass was like something from Tecmo Bowl, and then the thing to Kendrick Law, just save that one. But don't run the triple reverse pass. But the no-look, that was dope. It was smooth. Yeah, Jalen just walking off, and then that was tight. I did like that. But still, like, I don't even, like, that was a big game, so I guess you use it there. But leave it at that. Because we all of a sudden turned into, like, gadget mode. Case, that's the thing. How did he even know about the Dirty Bird? I know you can look up stuff, but I mean, so I was thinking about this. That was premeditated. He knew that he was going to score a touchdown. So, I mean, he was like, man, if I score a touchdown, or when I do, I'm going to hit him with the Dirty Bird, Atlanta, Georgia. So this is all premeditated. His highlights already are crazy. I saw him on Instagram. Someone like chopped up his highlights. It's wild. Now, there was two things, the third down defense is a point I want to continue to hit on. But like the fourth down defense, Coach Kane Womack was talking about yesterday. He was like, it's unacceptable for them to go 7 for 7 on fourth downs. He did say this, which I think rings true. When you do play a team 30-7, everything changes because they're fighting to survive, right? There's so many times where you're going to have 4 downs regardless. It changes your defense. It changes everything. So that I thought that was a good point rather than, just them getting fourth downs. It's not like they were trying to just get fourth downs, like just because. Like it was sink or swim. That shows me that Georgia, that told me that Georgia team, in my opinion, based off that, they can fight. That's why we're never going to like forget about Georgia no matter what happens, because if they can fight like that, that's it. Dirty Bird is a tribute to Julio? Maybe. Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah. I think it was kind of like, I think he hit him with the Dirty Bird because it's like Georgia was a celebration. Maybe Julio was at the game. That's a good point. I know everybody's getting, upset about the eye black and all this stuff. I don't know. I mean, I kind of worried, like, I don't really focus on that stuff. I just look at the kids play and just like celebrating what we're seeing, the greatness of it. I don't know about all that other stuff. It's just because what I'm seeing is this guy is just something that we haven't seen before. And I'm loving everything about it. I'm just enjoying it. Because what I've learned is like over the course of time, these players come in and come out so fast. And, it's just, I think you got to like take time to appreciate them. Think about it. I mean, I've been here since 2017 covering Alabama football. And the guys that come in and come out, it happens quick. You wouldn't think it does, but I think like the older you get, the faster time goes by. I don't know why that is, but all the players to roll through, that's why I'm just like taking time to like savor it, to like enjoy the moments, rather than like get too caught up in like what he's going to do. I'm just like enjoying it. Right. But people get, that's the thing is like people get upset about everything now, every single thing. So that's kind of the world that we live in. But I mean, Josh Pate, I think, put it best. He said it was legal terrorism. I was laughing so hard when he said that video, right? Yeah, Eric D. And I know it's from the program. I've seen the program. There's probably a lot of people that don't understand the program. They're like, what's the program? The program was tight. Oh, that's a good movie. The program was serious. That was like, you look back at like the great football movies. The program was really the first one that kind of took us to like college football, like major college football. and kind of all the things that, existed behind the scenes that people really knew that happened but didn't. Georgia fans, man, gotta feel for them. Nah, not really. That's why we added the UGA sucks emoji. The crazy thing is like, this is my last thing. This is gonna trip me out, but I can imagine a scenario where if Alabama and Georgia play again, for whatever reason, Georgia will still be the favorite, and Georgia fans will have forgotten that game. I swear this happens. I've seen it happen 6 times. Yeah, the Sarah McLachlan, that was hilarious, man. If they play again, it'll be like Georgia's favored by 6.5. This is the team. Brandon saying Killer Instinct. Yo, it's a game of helmets, shoulder pads. Like, that's why there's an ambulance outside of even a JV game that I was out last night. Like, this is a man's game. Like, it's a hard hitting game. And if you don't have that mentality, and if you don't go hard every single, if you've played football out there, have you ever kind of jolly logged to the sideline? Somebody could hit you full speed, and that's it. You're done. Every single time you have to go to 110%. Like, you want the killer instinct. Coach Saban always talked about having that dog inside of you. Yo, if that's where the guy needs to go mentally to be able to perform at that level, don't control him. Let him do, I don't think Ryan Williams he's a professional. All the people talk about is how well-mannered he is. Joyless murder ball. Why? Remember that phrase? Can we say that anymore? All right, fam. I appreciate you guys being here on my Tuesday show. You can catch it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Join our Facebook channel. It's called Bama Football on YouTube, on Facebook. It's very active. I treat it basically like my website, and it's another opportunity just to interact. As news happens, I cut videos. Adam here every single day. I'm live at 9. As I said at the beginning of the show, I'm kind of looking at the numbers and seeing that more people are on closer to 10. So I don't know. I'm always trying to better the graphics, better the time. I want to always make sure that the interactive experience is positive, and then I take your guys' feedback into consideration, and I appreciate you guys so much. I always try to practice gratitude before the show and after. I am very grateful to be able to talk Alabama football for a living, and I am just really grateful that you guys giving me an opportunity to talk with you guys this morning about the Crimson Tide as they continue to roll into the college football season. You can find me. Everything comes here first to Bama Football on YouTube, and then it's circulated out. Please follow us on social media. On Instagram, Mr. Kyle Henderson. Basically just like workout stuff, type motivation, Mr. Kyle Henderson. If you want to get that little extra push for your day, I sincerely appreciate it. Be good people. I will talk to you guys as news happens. It is Vanderbilt week. That does not mean you go easy. That does not mean that we take breaks. If anything, we go hard. We keep it heavy because, this team, they're not done. That was not the national championship on Saturday. It wasn't a playoff game. It was a conference game. The first SEC game of the season, and that's it. There was no trophies won yesterday. There was nothing. I think it's an insurance win long term. They're not having a parade this week in Tuscaloosa. They got a trip to Nashville, and then they got trips to Tennessee again to play Tennessee Volunteers, and then they're going to play LSU. They play Missouri. All those teams, what do they have in common? They're in the top 15. Job's not finished. I appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you soon as news happens right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Have a beautiful day. I'll catch you soon right here.